in Southampton.
I've been in the business I have now for the last 8 years. It's not a passing trade sort of business, so I rely upon regular clientele. But in Walston, I would have said I was reasonably well known. All my customers are more friends than they are clients. I do get the odd casuals, obviously.
Hello, mate. Can I help you?
Yes, please. I'm looking for a barber that could cut my hair. It's a bit difficult, and I suppose I'm a bit fussy, really, but...
That's all right. We can handle that. Do you want it done now?
Not just now, no.
Want to make an appointment?
Yeah, I will later on, all right? I'll pop back.
Yeah, as you wish.
OK.
In Woolston that afternoon, a man on a bike really stood out in the crowd. He was spotted dozens of times in the space of 2 hours in and around Victoria Road.
I had quite a busy morning, but I had a bit of a quiet afternoon, so I decided to take a little rest for the afternoon, a little siesta.
At around 3:30, a witness saw the man with the orange wig pull up outside the shop.
He walked in through the front door. I sat up because I thought it was charity, because, you know, dressed as a clown. At which point I got up out of the chair and chased after him. I thought it was oil, because it was oily looking. Got up within a couple of feet of the saddle before he started gaining on me. And by then I realised it wasn't just oil he'd thrown at me, it was something a lot more serious, because I could feel the strong burning sensations.
Get into the seat. Oh!
The clothes were melting on me. It was just literally dissolving. And you could see the face actually starting to distort and change in the mirror as I was trying to rinse it off.
Oh my God, what's happening?
Police still need to trace some of the people who came to help Andy, including the man who'd made inquiries earlier that day.
Are you okay?
More witnesses saw the attacker cycling off in his wig and boiler suit. He was seen going into Thornycroft Avenue, where he dumped the bike and switched to a black, old-style motorbike with a distinctive raised badge on the tank. Witnesses can track his route up to College Road, where the trail goes cold. Do you know where he went, who he was, or why he did it?
I've had skin grafts now. They've all seemed to have taken quite well. There were some bad ones on my head, which I think they'll heal up pretty well eventually. But dwelling upon it and getting bitter about it is totally pointless. He's a nothing, a coward.
No.
This all-terrain go-kart is one of only 25 in the country, and 3 of them have been stolen from Hatchwood Leisure Karting in Bedfordshire. It happened when thieves broke into the steel container where the carts were stored. They drove them off across fields towards the A1. At about 3 a.m. on Thursday the 21st of January, 2 of the carts were seen being driven here in a lay-by near the Windsock filling station on the northbound carriageway of the A1. It's thought then they were loaded onto another vehicle and driven away. They're very distinctive, bright red and bearing these serial numbers. 2 of them were Gemini Dominators, like this one. The other, very similar, but an earlier model, is a Gemini Voyager. If you have any information, you can call the incident room in Bedford on 0234 841 212. That's 0234, the code for Bedford, 841 212.
Hundreds of thousands of pounds. But it's not galleries that need to be on the alert. It's libraries.
Good afternoon, sir. Can I help at all? Oh, that would be very kind. I was after 3 volumes in particular. John Speed's map volume from 1627, any of Ortelis's collection, and atlases by Gerard Mercator from 1619.
Mercator, Gerard Mercator.
Oh.
If you'd like to fill out a booking request form and take a seat just over there, and I'll be over shortly.
Oh, I wonder, do you have anywhere with better natural light?
Well, they're seating over there. If you'd like to go for it, it's a bit out of the way.
He will approach a member of staff from the library and hand them as much as £40 or £50, saying that he's found that money on the floor in the library. And we suspect that what he's actually doing is handing over his own money in an effort to win the confidence of the staff. He uses his pleasant, amiable personality and the confidence that he displays when he deals with the libraries which he's visited. He uses that to win over the trust of the librarians.
Libraries in Scotland, across England and in Wales have been badly damaged by Peter Bellwood's activities.
The National Library of Wales in Aberystwyth identified that Peter Bellwood had visited them on 7 occasions during 2000 and early 2001. It was established that a large number of maps had been removed, and we suspect Peter of having stolen those maps.
His drive to steal has taken him abroad. We know he's been to Denmark. Here he is in a library in Copenhagen. Staff later discovered that 11 maps were missing.
I'd like to take this opportunity to bring to the attention of all the libraries throughout the country and all the dealers that are working within the antiquarian book trade, the type of character that Peter Bellwood is, in order that they can be on their guard and to be mindful of this if they should choose to buy any maps from him.
Jonathan Potter, you're a map expert. What kind of maps is Peter Bellwood targeting?
Well, Bellwood was looking for the most commercially saleable maps for which there's an international market. Maps such as we find in this atlas here. This is a 17th century Dutch atlas.
And this is beautiful, isn't it?
This is the highlight of the atlas, but this would be what he would be looking for.
Extremely rare. In fact, our next case is so unusual, it's bizarre. This is Cowden Beath in Fife.
We had seen the place advertised and put in a bid and successfully got the house. We didn't move in until about September, early September. We planned for about 6 months before the move-in date, all the things we would do to it, and it was like our dream home. The clock had been given as a Christmas gift 1 year after we'd been married from our daughter Linda and our son-in-law Jim. So it was a prized possession that it stood in pride of place on the mantelpiece below June's portrait.
Just round the corner from the Mathis home is an industrial estate.
Who's in charge here? I'm in charge. Oh, well, we've been doing some tarmacking down the road, and we got some left over. And we noticed you got some potholes here that need filling, and we're wondering, would you like us to do it for you?
So what are you for that?
15 quid.
Right, okay.
The full squad struck me definitely as us travelling people, more from the gypsy side. Had an English accent, and he'd said he'd been working down in the Manchester area.
Right, that's about the size of it then. That's £1,650, please.
The boy told me it was going to be £15.
Yeah, 15 quid a square metre.
I can't afford that.
Hey, hang on, you can afford it. You've got a thriving business here. So if you want your business to thrive some more, you'll pay up, OK?
What do you mean by that?
Listen, I'll tell you what I mean by that. I'm getting my bloody money's worth out of this place one way or another, so you better pay up, mate, OK?
At that point, I took that to mean that he was going to smash the place up over me. So we paid the money, and away we went. Just more or less to get them off the yard.
1 week later, on a Friday afternoon, June Mathis was finishing work at her pub, about 5 minutes from her house.
Nice me getting off now, Linda. I'll see you tonight. later. Cheerio.
She would have been at her home when this man was driving down her street.
From the Perth Road, I pulled into Lucas Beef Drive at about 4:45, heading up towards my house. And I noticed a white van parked on the corner of Glenfield Drive. It was half on, half off the path, which was a bit weird.
Guy Mathis works in the oil industry and was looking forward to the weekend off.
When I left work that evening, a lot of work had been done to the house, so the tiler had been in to finish tiling the kitchen, which was one of the very last things that was being done to the house, so it had just about reached the completion stage, and I was thinking, God, when I get home I'll have a look at the tiles and that'll be virtually us, finished and completed our dream home.
It was about 6:15 on a Friday evening. I was driving down Glenfield Road. When I turned the corner, I saw someone standing on the pavement. When I glanced, I saw it was a man standing still for no apparent reason. I thought it was strange. It was dark and there wasn't any bus stop nearby.
Hello, June. Home.
So this is it.
Get down! Get down! Get down! Where's your safe? Where's your safe? There's no safe.
He kept on about 2 safes, and I said there's definitely no safes in the house.
Well, I know June and Guy Mathis quite well after doing work in the house, and it just so happened that I was passing when I seen a red Escort which had been reversed into the driveway. It was a Jai or a K-Rage. I don't know any part of the family that's got a car like that.
Don't look! Don't look!
June and Guy's ordeal was to last an hour, and we only hint at the violence that was used. But June kept her head and made a mental note of details, like the breech of one of the 3 guns.
Nice down, come on up.
It had sort of brass fancy bit on the top.
Around 7 o'clock, at the corner, I noticed a white Transit in June's Drive. I thought this was a bit funny because it's not the sort of van you would see in June's Drive.
I've about had enough of you two. Right, get back. See you in a minute.
Do you think they've gone?
Yes, hello? Is that the police?
What was stolen was chiefly of sentimental value. Some jewellery, for instance, which had belonged to June's sister, who'd died the year before.
We had her jewellery, and her jewellery was to go to the grandchildren. You know, I could always look at it and say, well, this was June. So it's things that...
That's all you had to remember her by.
People that comes into homes with guns should be stopped. I don't know, it just shouldn't be.
One of the thoughts that crossed my mind during the thing was, what if our daughter or son came with the grandchildren while all this was happening? What would have happened then to those people? Would they have been snatched, the grandchildren? And that's a frightening thought.
Ian Beattie, obviously the first thing you've got to do is eliminate these 3 tarmackers who were there the week before.
Yes, that's correct.
What can you tell us about them?
We have a description of the 3 men. The first man, he was 20 years of age, 5'8" tall, fair hair, and he was heavy build. The second man was mid to late 30s, 6 foot tall, black hair, stout build, and he had a short moustache and beard. The third man was mid 30s, 5 foot 10 inches tall, blonde hair, and was medium build.
OK, they all had North of England accents, I gather, and of course they may or may not be connected with the robbery. You need to find out who they were. They did have a Ford Transit van, a white Ford Transit. We know that a white Ford Transit and a red Ford Escort were involved in the robbery. There was no safe at that house, though, ever, was there?
No, there's never ever been a safe in that house.
Tough information. What they took was of tremendous sentimental value. This is a reproduction of the Ormolu clock that was stolen. Tell us about the watches. Is there anything distinctive about them?
Raymond Veal watches, a ladies and gents watch, and these are exactly replicas of the watches that were stolen from the house.
Well, if anybody offers you watches like those, or this sort of reproduction Ormolu clock, please call the police. If you know anything about this or recognise any of those three men, the number here in the studio is 08181818181, 081818181, or you can contact the Fife Incident Room direct. The number there is 0592 526 double. The BBC has been in the news so much this week that we felt that we had to add another voice, but this time on behalf of Noddy. Original artwork intended to be photographed for a future issue of the very important Noddy magazine has been stolen from BBC Enterprises in West London, not far from where I'm standing. The artwork dates back to the early 50s, and many illustrations were produced by Van Beek. That's the Dutch artist who created the original Noddy image. If you've seen them, the originals that is, here's the number. We'll be back in half an hour from now. If you can't stay up till then, don't have nightmares, not even about Big Ear.